We're about to dive into a story about a single decision that truly shaped history, and it was a choice that all started with a dream. We're going to look at why Imam Hussein, the grandson of the Prophet Muhammad, chose to walk toward a battle he absolutely knew he could not survive.
Just imagine hearing those words. In a dream from your own grandfather, God wishes to see you slain. That's what he heard. And this vision, it sealed his fate. You had friends, you had family, all of them begging him not to go, warning him about the trap that was being laid. But this dream gave him this chilling certainty. He knew he wasn't just marching into a political confrontation. He was walking toward his own martyrdom. So this brings us to the big question, right? Why on earth would anyone make such a final, fatal choice based on something as flimsy as a dream? Well, to answer that, we have to go way beyond just the historical facts. We have to dig into the nature of reality itself, what we see, how we see it, and ultimately, how we choose.
Okay, so to even begin to get our heads around Hussein's decision, we have to ask a more basic question. What even is a dream? Is it just your brain, cleaning out the junk files from the day? Or is it something more? According to Islamic philosophy, it's like we live in two totally different worlds, or alams. There's the world we're in when we're awake, and a whole other one for when we're asleep. And these two worlds, they run on completely different operating systems. In our waking life, the rules are pretty solid, right? You're here, which means you can't also be over there. It's a world of either or. But the dream world, the rules just go out the window. The logic is totally fluid. You can be standing in your childhood kitchen and flying over a city at the same time. It's a world of both and. So yeah, most of our dreams are probably just a mind reshuffling memories and anxieties. But Islamic tradition carves out a very special category, something called ru'ya sadika, or true dreams. And these aren't just echoes of your past. They're considered to be direct perceptions, like opening a window onto a deeper, unseen reality. A little glimpse of the future, maybe, or a profound spiritual truth. Okay, but that sounds a little out there, right? If these true dreams are perceptions of some hidden world, how does that actually work? How can our minds see something that isn't physically there? The answer is this really fascinating idea about our mind's inner vision. The key to the whole thing is a concept called his-e-mushtarak. Now, it translates to the common sense, but hold on, it's not what you think. We're not talking about good judgment here. Think of it more like a central processing unit for your perceptions. Or maybe like a mental canvas where everything you see, hear, and feel gets painted together into one picture. Let me give you a super simple example of its day job. Imagine you have some sugar. Your eye sees whiteness. Your tongue tastes sweetness. But your eye has no idea what sweet is, and your tongue has no clue about white. They're separate inputs. It's the hisse mushtarak that takes both signals and makes a single judgment. Aha, this white stuff is the sweet stuff. It synthesizes data. But, and this is where it gets really profound, that mental canvas has another, much deeper function. It doesn't just process information coming in from your five senses, it can also act like a receiver for images that descend from a higher, non-physical reality. And this is what opens the door for visions and true dreams. A perfect example of this is in the Quran, in the story of Mary, where the angel Gabriel appears to her. This process is called tamathul. Now, the angel wasn't a physical human being, right? It was a spiritual reality. But in her perception, on that inner canvas, it took on a tangible form, the form of a man. And that's exactly what's said to happen in a true dream. A higher truth, like the one Imam Hussein saw, descends and takes on a shape his mind can perceive. So all of this brings us right back to that unavoidable question. If Imam Hussein's dream was a genuine vision of a future that God willed, then did he really have a choice in the matter? Was his decision to go truly his own? And bam, just like that, we're smack in the middle of one of the oldest and toughest debates out there, predestination versus free will. This is the classic paradox, isn't it? It's a real head-scratcher. How do you square divine will with human choice? If God has a master plan and everything is already willed, then is our feeling of freedom just an illusion? But on the flip side, if we're all truly free to do whatever we want, does that somehow put a limit on God's power? Historically, this debate created two powerful, opposing sides. On one side, you had the argument for free will. The logic was, for God to be perfectly just, we humans have to be the authors of our own actions. God can't be blamed for our bad choices.
But the other camp argued for absolute divine will. Their logic, for God to be all-powerful, nothing can happen that he doesn't allow. Both sides make a really compelling point, but they seem completely impossible to reconcile.
So what's the solution? Is there a way out of this paradox? Can both of these things be true at the same time? Well, the philosophical tradition we're exploring offers what I think is an incredibly elegant answer, one that doesn't throw either side out, but actually unites them.
Okay, so here's how it breaks down. Our actions, they are absolutely our own. When you decide to do something, anything, that choice is yours and you're responsible for it. Simple enough. But, and this is the crucial part, what about the capacity to choose in the first place? Your actual willpower. Did you choose to have that? No, that power was given to you.
And that is the very heart of the solution. The action belongs to you, but the power to act is a gift from God. Think of it this way. Imagine God gives you a hammer. That hammer is your will, your capacity to act. But you are the one who chooses whether to build a house with it or to break a window. You're responsible for the action. The tool, the capacity to act, is a divine gift. There's this incredible verse in the Quran that just captures this idea perfectly. It was said to the prophet after a battle, "You did not throw," that's acknowledging the ultimate power comes from God, when you threw. And that's affirming that, yes, the action was still his. You see, it's human action and divine will working together in perfect harmony. In the same way, Imam Hussein made his choice, and it was also God's will that he was the person empowered to make that fateful choice. So this leaves us with one last, pretty deep question to think about. If our ability to choose, our will itself, is a gift, then what does it really mean to be free? Is freedom just about doing whatever we want, whenever we want? Or is it maybe something deeper? Perhaps true freedom is about having the wisdom to align our choices with the very source of that gift. Something to ponder.